Hello, here we are, last part of chapter 7 of The Boy with the Bronze Axe, and then it's getting quite exciting. So there are a few questions for you today. I'll put them up now. I'll see you in a sec.
Vocabulary question on page 112. Tresco quailed before him and drew back afraid. What does quailed mean? Why did Tresco wait to make his suggestion of a different sacrifice? And what do we think Tresco will suggest should be this special sacrifice this year? Something we've been predicting all along.
Okay, so let's be on the lookout. We're starting off. The first question is on page 110. Which is our first page. So let's get reading. Where I left you yesterday, Tresco is about to suggest something about the sacrifice. So I know what I think it's going to be. I'm wondering if you think the same. I'm wondering if the author is going to lead us into thinking about that, but then do something different. Because sometimes authors can do that. Sometimes they will try and lead you one way and then throw you a different way. So we shall see. Lokar was annoyed that Tresco should interrupt. Tresco, I shall order matters in my own way. But in times past, we have always made this special sacrifice before we ate. Tresco persisted. Let us not depart from custom, lest the sun god be angry. The tribe of Skara went silent. They did not trust Tresco. They knew he was sly. Berno muttered under his breath. The tribes from the east of the island, however, sided with Tresco. Yes, let us first make the sacrifice as we always do. Let the sacrifice be made, Lokar, they shouted. Lokar saw that most of the people wished them to make a sacrifice, though he was not pleased. Yet he must give them his consent. The blood of a lamb from the flock must be shed to satisfy them. Very well, make ready the sacrifice, he told them. A long slab of stone like a tabletop was carried into the ring. Have you a lamb for the sacrifice? Asked Lokar. What are you doing?
I need some water to make potion.
Okay.
I need a chair.
Okay. Sorry, Jamie's just come in and taken a chair so he can go and make a potion outside. Okay. Sorry, that's very distracting, isn't it? A long slab of thin stone like a tabletop was carried into the ring. Have you a lamb for the sacrifice? Asked Lokar. There is a lamb here, Lokar, spoke of one of the chiefs of the eastern tribes. Let it be brought forward, Lokar commanded. Tresco spoke again. Wait! This year the sacrifice should be greater than a lamb. The god of the sun has shown us our favour. Our flocks have grown. We have never gone hungry. We have set up the greatest stone that has ever been brought to the ring of Brodgar. True, it is true, the crowd echoed about him. Then we shall make a special sacrifice this year, Tresco told them. Yes, yes, there should be a special sacrifice, the people cried. Lokar looked angrily at Tresco and once again took the matter into his own hands. Which of you has a calf or a cow he can spare from his herd? I'm going to stop there because what do you think? Do you think what I think? Are we going to be sacrificing our gift from the seas, I wonder? The tribesmen looked from one to another. We have not brought our herds with us, Lokar, as you well know, one chieftain said. Before Lokar could reply, Tresco spoke again. His voice was crafty, persuasive. Perhaps the sun god does not want a calf or cow. This time the god of the sun demands the blood of one of us present here. No, no, Lokar cried at once. The sun god does not ask for the blood of men. Our tribes have never sacrificed a man for longer than anyone can remember. But once our people used to do that. You have told us so yourself, Lokar, Tresco reminded him. Which of you would be prepared to give himself as sacrifice? Lokar challenged the crowd. The people shifted about uneasily on their feet, but no man came forward. You see, Tresco, to take a man by force from any tribe would destroy the peace that has been among us for many years, Lokar told him. Tresco was not silenced. There is no need to take any man of the tribes of Orkney, so there is no need to disturb our peace. We should seek one who is not painted as we are for the festival, who does not carry the mark of the tribe of Skara. He pointed at Tenko. There he is, the boy with the shining axe who came out of the sea. No, no, Lokar cried, aghast at the suggestion. Berno gave Tresco a threatening look. Yes, yes, he is not one of us. He will do for the sacrifice, cried a chieftain from the eastern tribes. They were relieved in their minds that none of their people was to be chosen for the sacrifice. Sacrifice the stranger! Sacrifice the stranger! The cry rose from them. It grew and grew, echoing from one tribe to the other. Why did Tresco wait to make his suggestion for a different sacrifice? Because he's now got them on side, hasn't he? Tresco stood as if turned to stone. Tenko stood as if turned to stone, his face pale. He knew he was in greater danger than ever before in his life, and he could do nothing. If the tribes went mad with bloodlust, he would be killed on the stone of sacrifice. Lokar stood between him and the excited crowd. No, this lad should not be killed. He has brought good and not ill to the tribe of Skara. He has destroyed our enemies in the sky and the sea. He brings us new ways of life from our kinsmen in lands over the sea. Berno took his place along Lokar. This boy now belongs to my family. He has been accepted by the tribe of Skara. Whoever lays a finger on him will have to deal with me first, Berno declared. The shouts of the other tribes sank to an uneasy murmur. Tresco, however, was not finished. If he has been accepted by the tribe of Skara, why then does he not carry the marks of the tribe in paint as we do? He is a stranger, and strangers should die. Berno swung Tenko round to face the crowd. He pulled open Tenko's tunic and displayed the sign of the sun painted on Tenko's chest. There is a mark of the sun god. There is the sign of Skara, he shouted. This boy is one of us. Kill him, and you will answer to me for it. He swung round to Tresco. Blood shall be answered by blood, Tresco. Tresco quailed before him and drew back, afraid. That's our vocabulary question today. What does quailed mean? And it is to do with it. He is backing down. He's now really scared because he's going to start a war between these tribes, I think. An angry, defeated murmur rose from the crowds. The tribe of Skara made threatening gestures towards the tribes from the east who demanded the sacrifice of Tenko. They waved their fists at Tresco. Lokar knew it would take little to set them fighting one against the other, and then the sun god would have his blood sacrifice indeed. He held up his hands for silence. Quiet, my people, he commanded. Remember, you stand with the sacred ring of the sun. He cast up a look at the sky. Lokar's great dignity was impressive indeed. One by one, the men of Orkney fell silent. There was a stillness in the ring of Brodgar like the hush before a storm. Lokar spoke. This boy belongs to the tribe of Skara. You have heard what Berno said, and you have seen the mark of the tribe of Skara on the boy's chest. If you mean the men of the south and east and north to kill him, then the men of Skara will seek revenge. If you break the laws of all our tribes, then you will bring war upon us. The peace that has dwelt among us for these many years will be broken. Evil will sweep over the land. Lokar raised his arm impressively. The god of the sun, who speaks to you through me, demands obedience and not sacrifice. He will have peace and not war. If you disobey, the sun god will hide his face from you. He will speak to you in a terrible voice. Even as Lokar spoke, a dark cloud drifted over the face of the sun. The crowd felt the shadows sweep over them and shifted uneasily. From out of the cloud came a flash of lightning and the sudden sharp crack of thunder. The men of Orkney flung themselves on their faces. Only Lokar remained erect, his arm pointing upwards. I'm going to stop there. There's a picture to show you on the page before. You can see that of, I think that's someone holding back Tenko. And a nice view of the new stone in the ring of Brodgar in the background as well. Okay. This should not be killed. Tenko stood as if turned to stone, his face pale. Oh, sorry, I've read that bit. The sun god has spoken. He will have no sacrifice. He commands there shall be peace among you. He will show his anger to the one who raises his hand against another man. Rise to your feet now. Each chief will give the hand of friendship to Berno, the chief of Skara, who has erected the great stone for us here today. We will sing the chant to the sun. One by one the painted chiefs came forward and took Berno by the hand. Many of them spoke to Tenko too. Tresco hid himself, skulking behind the men of Skara. When all had saluted Berno, the tribes stood waiting for Lokar's signal. He raised his arms towards the sun. Berno broke into the chant with his powerful voice, and all the people sang. Across the moat, the wives and families joined in too. Callie sang with all her heart, the tears of relief that Tenko was spared rolling down her face. Now go to your families and eat, Lokar commanded. The men of Orkney crossed the earthen bridges to their families. They stepped lightly as though a burden of fear had fallen from their shoulders. Only Lokar knew how narrowly war had been prevented among the tribes. In all his days as priest of the sun, there had been peace. Now the crisis was over. He felt empty and drained of strength. It was with difficulty that he controlled the trembling of his limbs. Let me put my hand on your shoulder, Tenko, he said. I am a feeble old man. No, you are not, Berno told him. Who but you could have held the tribes at your will? There was strength indeed. He took Lokar by the arm. You need food like the rest of us. Lokar leaned on Berno and Tenko. Slowly he made his way back to the place where the tribe of Skara had assembled. Out of respect for the wise old priest, they had waited to eat. Berno led him to a large stone that served as a seat. Stempsy has brought food for you. I will go and bring it, he said. As Berno passed Tresco, he stopped. Do not think that your wickedness will go unpunished. Some day, Tresco, you will go too far. Remember this. If you so much as lay a finger on Tenko, you will have me to reckon with. Tresco shrank back and said nothing. Tenko brought water in his bowl for Lokar from a nearby spring. Lokar drank the water thankfully. As he handed back the bowl, he said, "Sit beside me, Tenko. I have something to say to you." Tenko sat at his feet. There will come a time, Tenko, when I shall no longer be with you. That time may not be far off. I wish you to make a promise to me. Yes, Lokar. No matter how sorely you are provoked, you will never, ever plunge my people into shedding blood. I promise that, Lokar. Before I would do that, I would take my boat and go back across the sea. Lokar shook his head. You must not do that either, Tenko. The old man's eyes gazed afar off, as though he were looking at something Tenko could not see. There will come a time of sorrow and disaster to the tribe of Skara. Then they will look to you for help. You must not fail them. I will not fail them, Lokar, Tenko told him steadfastly. Oh, I thought he was going to promise him Callie. Oh, wonder if that's coming. So that's it for chapter 7. Mrs. Cox is going to be here to read chapter 8 called The Day of the Fog. There's only 3 chapters to go. We are going to we're going to get this all filmed for you so that it can be finished before the end of the term. But I really hope you have enjoyed it so far, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.